Hello, distance students. In reviewing the recording from today, those that heard it live were able to hear everything fine, but it was a little funky on the recording and didn't record right. So I am going to present the PowerPoint from today so that you guys can have the information from the November meeting. So some updates from our exec team for you guys. We had mentioned that there was going to be a social event. You had gotten a couple emails about that. However, because of other events and other organizations having made social events, those overlap the dates that we were looking at. And so we are moving that social event to next semester. You may use the social event as part of your dean's reimbursement. So we are going to still give you that event, as well as there is a silent auction social event that will happen in March, and that is right before the Pi Theta's Distinguished Lecture. So some of you on the survey from last time had chosen the other option, but you didn't give any other ideas. Please, if you have any ideas that you'd like to do, send them our way. Send them my way, I guess, specifically, and we can look into that social event. Otherwise, we're going to probably stick with bowling as the idea now that pumpkin patches have been closed down. Dean's reimbursement update. So we have gotten the totals now, and we will be having $200 for 70 people. So last year we had $200 for 60 people, and we ended up coming out fine with that, but we want to make sure that we're giving you all the money opportunity that we can. And so we are asking you to complete a survey of interest. This will come out with the weekly email. And please, 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 if you are considering going to conference, fill this survey out. It's really important for us to get numbers, because if we find that there's a lot more than 70 people wanting to go, then we're going to need to start looking for other fundraising ideas, because if there's more people, then we split that fund more ways, then we're going to get less than $200 a person. So if you have any questions about that process, let us know. And then the last update for those of you here in Nebraska, that career fair is on Friday. PHPSG asked us to remind you of this. I think all OT1s and OT2s have to go for class, so we're going to be there anyway. But just a reminder, that's coming up this Friday. From our vice president, some volunteer hours and opportunity updates. So we are having one last big event this semester. It's in December. It's going to be a holiday party with Ollie Webb. They have not given us the date or any more details about the event, so be on alert for that. The information will get out to you as soon as we get it from Ollie Webb. Remember that the volunteer requirement for Dean's reimbursement is either 6 hours or 4 hours, and then going to a social. Don't fret. Sheila said that she has counted up a lot of hours, and many people have met that criteria. However, if you haven't, don't worry. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities in the spring, and including our biggest, what we would consider our biggest volunteer event, which is the Adaptive Easter Egg Hunt. We did get that grant approved through PHPSG, so that event will be going on again the next semester, I guess. And the volunteer events for the spring will be developed and scheduled over break, and so those will be coming out to you next semester. So don't worry, we have a lot more opportunities to come. From ASD rep, one I guess resource to you guys coming from our Assembly of Student Delegates representative. There's this cool database, and it is a place where you can go to find leadership opportunities. And so it does provide AOTA members with that chance of opportunity for leadership and to get more involved. And so check out those links if you are interested. This is, we have a lot of opportunities here on campus, but this is a great way to get involved more nationally, and especially if you want to do more leadership in the future. And then just a little heads up, our NOTA conference, our Nebraska OT Association conference, is in February. The keynote speaker will be Amy Lamb. She is the AOTA president, and she was a Creighton grad. And so we're bringing her back for just to speak to us at the NOTA conference. It will be held at Creighton University at our student center, and the theme will be soaring into the future. Because it's here at Creighton, we will need volunteers to help make sure that the conference goes smoothly. And so we will probably be reaching out to all of our members closer to February, to the time of the event, for chances to volunteer there. Our AOTA liaison, there are 2 more events or 2 more opportunities for concessions this semester. You see the dates there, November 30th and December 10th. And we have made a good amount. Just in tips alone, we've made $510. And then we also get a certain percentage of the total amount made during those concession times that we're there. We're getting, Jill said that she was going to pick up the checks soon, and so then she'll be able to get an hourly amount. And then based on the number of hours that you work, you'll get that amount. It'll just help you kind of better plan. And for those of you, she'd mentioned, like, if you're wondering if it's worth it, it definitely is, especially with only getting $200 of Dean's reimbursement. All the extra money and all the extra help, it'll help, yes. So definitely be looking for those opportunities to come out in the weekly email. There are only 142 days until conference, so continue to look into what your plans and what you plan to do for conference, and give us any questions that you have. We did in the meeting open it up for questions, and did not get too many questions at this point. And then also look at the new Instagram account that we've created, Creighton_CUSOTA. From the treasurer, we just had a little update with clipboards, and other than that, our fundraiser made a good amount of money, and everyone has picked up all their apparel. At this point, in our meeting, we discussed speaker topics and ways for members to become more involved. And the purpose of this was to get people to be able to voice their opinions, to be able to say what things that they desire to hear from in the future, ways that we can better the organization as a whole. So some of the things that were discussed, the topics for speakers, some people had mentioned doing like a patient perspective on practice, and so them giving us some feedback on what was good and what was not so good about their time with OT. Also talking about paying back loans, and then we had a discussion about how there is actually going to be a part of NOTA that actually talks about this loan reimbursement. So if you are here in Nebraska, consider going to that. I know OT1s, it seems a little far off still, but I think we all worry about getting those loans paid off. So that might not be something we cover in CUSOTA if that is in fact what is going to be covered in NOTA, but great idea. We also talked about having someone come in talking about the scope of practice and how we can discuss that with other people outside of our profession and kind of advocate for it. And then there was one more that's not on this list that you're seeing here. And I don't remember, but I did mention that some of the speakers that we're looking into right now, one, our meeting for December is going to actually be with a current resident at Creighton, and just discussing what are the benefits to residency, what's the process of getting into residency, how should you look around for residencies, what maybe is the downfall to being in a residency. So just kind of getting more information on that from someone who is going through it firsthand. We also are looking into getting one of the board members from AOTA. We had discussed board to classroom, and you guys had filled out the survey on what topic you'd like to see done. And so we are hoping to get that this next semester, as well as having a traveling OT come in, a traveling OT agency, I guess, come in and discuss what traveling OT would look like for those that like more adventure and and are willing to do more traveling. So if any of you from the distance pathways have any ideas or any topics you'd like to hear discussed, please let us know. Let your respective president know, and we'll look into getting those lined up. And then we also talked about membership participation and what that could look like. And so it was suggested to have OT2 share some of the fieldwork experiences that they've had. We had talked about maybe splitting off into areas of interest, and then OT2s can discuss some of the settings that they, or the specific sites that they went to, so that OT1s can gain more insight into that. And then we also talked about doing some collaboration with interprofessional groups. And that is something that has been a big part of what I want to do my year as the president. So I do want to collaborate a little bit with the PT student organization, CUSOTA. And so I'm hoping to get something lined up for next semester once I finalize what that might look like and present it to the PT president. So once again, if anyone else has ideas, please shoot them my way. And yeah, and then I also wanted to just pull up the Dean's reimbursement slide that we had talked about, because I know that was the day that the technology was, the microphone didn't work, and still haven't been told why, but I just wanted to be able to give you guys a little bit more of a reminder, I guess, just because we did have some issues last year, and we really wanted to be clear and everyone to be on the same page. So remember, there's 4 components to the Dean's reimbursement. First off, you need to be a member, and you need to attend 7 of the 10 CUSOTA meetings. Second, you must volunteer through CUSOTA, through our organization itself. So that's either 6 hours or 4 hours plus one of the social events. And I had mentioned the social events earlier in the talk. The third part is going to the Dean's reimbursement lunch. And so we're giving you guys the heads up now so that you can make those plans in your weekend at conference. The lunch has in the years past been on Saturday. We had a couple questions about the location. The lunch is just off. It's not in conference itself. It's at a local restaurant. Last year it was a pizza joint that we went to that was just a few blocks from the convention center. And so my group didn't actually even attend conference that day. We just went to the Dean's lunch. And so keep that in your plans, though, that in order to get the Dean's reimbursement, we do want to say it is our way to say thank you for giving us money, and the meal itself is free. So there is really nothing but positive things about going to the lunch that day. But make sure, like I said, ahead of time, you're planning your trip and your travel plans all around, making sure that you can get to that Saturday. And then the fourth and final component of the Dean's reimbursement is attending conference itself. Sounds pretty manageable, I hope. So attending conference, buying a ticket. This does not include an expo pass. So as you're getting closer to the time and you start to buy those tickets, if you are buying an expo pass that does not qualify for Dean's reimbursement, you must buy like a day or a weekend pass. And then, or you can volunteer 6 hours at conference. So this is where the volunteering that's not through CUSOTA, that does not qualify as above. This is volunteering at conference. Usually that volunteering comes out at the beginning of next semester. And so we will keep you updated on when we see that comes out. But, the volunteering does allow you to get into the expo the day after that you volunteer and complete those 6 hours. So that piece can get a little confusing. So please ask those questions now. And then, I did not click anything. So that's the dean's reimbursement. Distance presidents, please make sure that you go over this thoroughly. If you just want to play this part of the meeting so that your people can hear very clearly, that's fine. I do know that there had been a little bit of confusion with some of the distance pathways that came through HPSG, and so just make sure that is being clearly presented to your as well, please. Great. All right, and password is Go Cubs. I made a disclaimer. I'm really not a huge baseball follower, but it was a pretty big deal for the Cubs, so I decided that was probably the best way to go, was to give them a little shout out. The way we finished our meeting was making holiday cards for Christmas cards for the elderly in the community. So our plan right now, unless something changes, is for those of you who don't know, the OT2 class is currently at different skilled nursing facilities, assisted living homes in the Omaha area. And so we have 3 different locations that we go to each week. And so we, at this point, are hoping to be able to pass those out to those facilities when we make our last trip to the site in December. And so this is just a fun way to reach out once again into the community and make someone smile. So that's the end of the meeting. Thank you for listening, and one of these days maybe we'll get this technology completely all together on one day, all on the same page. So once again, questions, send them our way. Comments, please send them our way, and we will see you at the next meeting. Thank you.